Yo, 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 welcome back to Brandon Smooth TV. Back at y'all with another review. We finally got the Flash movie released by DC. As you know, this is the last movie of this iteration of the DCEU. Before I hop into the review, just to go over Flash's character, Flash was in briefly Batman v Superman for a cameo, and then he also did a cameo in Suicide Squad, and then of course we know him from the Justice League movies. Um, wasn't always my favorite character out of everybody in the Justice League. I don't know why, he was just always a little off to me. Um, I get what they were trying to do with the decision to kind of make him talk fast, I assume, because he is a speedster. He's connected to the Speed Force, so I understand him needing to eat a lot of calories because he burns them all super fast. But it was just kind of weird with the whole stuttering and like the little. I don't know what that shit is he does, but whatever that is, I've never really been a fan of that. Um, Also, I think I'm just used to the Flash because I got introduced to the Flash in the Justice League animated show, and he was very confident, a little bit cocky, and he was cool. This dude is just weird. Anyways, so in this movie, the Flash decides to go back and save his mom, and basically do the Flashpoint comic book art or iteration of that. But before that, he is working with Batman, and I'm glad they got Ben Affleck's Batman back. Um, they got him on the bike. Didn't feel the same though. For some reason, it didn't feel the same. But they got him on the bike, and he's basically helping out in Gotham City. Of course, it's a speed scene where they slow everything down, similar to what they do with Quicksilver in the Marvel movies. And he had to save a whole bunch of babies and a nurse and a dog, I believe, while they're falling out of a skyscraper, basically. The CG was kind of weird on this. It looked a little weird. But overall, the scene, it was some funny parts in there. And it did showcase his power. He's that fast, and you can tell Barry Allen's been the Flash for a while, so he knows what he's doing. You'll see that throughout the entire movie. So when he goes back in time, right, he ends up going to his house and he sees his mom, and then he ends up finding out there's a younger version of himself, young Barry. And young Barry is basically more like the Barry in Justice League. He's very immature. He doesn't have powers, and he's very surprised. Of course, running in a future version of yourself, anybody would be. I get that, but I did not like young Barry throughout the movie. He had a couple funny parts here and there, but I really didn't like him too much. So they end up basically when he went back in time, he brought Zod back from Man of Steel. And he's came back around a period to where he just started attacking the Earth. So he's trying to get the Justice League together. He's finding out members ain't even born. He's finding out, it's not the same. But he does end up figuring out that there is a Bruce Wayne. So him and Barry go and find the Bruce Wayne. And lo and behold, it is Batman, 1989. Michael Keaton's version of Batman and Tim Burton's, which to me is my favorite Batman, the one I, of course, grew up on being an 80s baby. Now, these were some of the best scenes of the movie because when he was on screen, I was definitely getting pulled in. He explained his motive and why he quit being Batman. Gotham basically got so safe he didn't need to be Batman no more, but he became a rich, crazy millionaire recluse, billionaire, and he's just sitting in the house with the super long hair and stuff. And basically, they're trying to locate Superman because they know who's going to be able to stop Zod. So Michael Keaton stuff was great. I did like that he was painting. I like he could still kick ass at that age. I thought that was super cool. And I just like his laid backness. To me, Michael Keaton is the perfect Bruce Wayne and Batman, and he does it well, kind of like when Christopher Reeves plays Superman. He can play both sides to where you really wouldn't see him being Batman on the other side, and I always enjoyed that. So they get back in the suit and they get ready, and Batman's scene was tight when they went to Russia because they heard that Superman was being held there, but they don't know it's actually his cousin, Kara-El. Long story short, Batman still got all his toys. They was wilding in the Batcave, and that scene was good when he was coming down. I'm glad he's using still some of the same gadgets, and his fighting style was the exact same. The fighting style was the same as in '89, as in Batman Returns. So I thought that was dope. Also, Batman still using a tape measure. He's using flip phones to deactivate stuff, and everybody's looking at him with some funny jokes like, "Why are you still using that technology?" But you would think he's been probably in the house for 20 years. He got the same type of gadgets, upgraded some stuff here and there. So that was amazing to get to see that. Also, we get to see him, whoop some ass on a kind of on a larger scale, I would say. Anyways, they end up finding Cara L, and they take her, and then she get a little bit of the sun. That scene was good, when she beat all the Russian guards up and then was too weak, and they end up having to escape. So I thought that was dope. Um, Moving forward, long story short, she ended up getting her powers, and also Barry, that went back in time, he lost his powers, so they had to redo the lightning strike to where he got hit, so he can gain his powers back. He got his powers back, and then basically him, young Barry, Kara, and Batman, they all go to face Zod. The ending scene was pretty good, and I like that basically they knew they can go back in time, because we had a real emotional scene where, of course, we thought Michael Keaton couldn't escape the Batwing, and he just flew straight into the ship and kind of sacrificed himself to take the ship out. And then they went back in time, both of them, so they can save Kara L too, because basically Kara, she got caught by Zod, and Zod, she ended up being the Codex. They ended up killing Superman, Kal-El. They ended up murdering him. And found out that she actually had the codex in her from Man of Steel, and she basically carried all the DNA in her blood cells or body, so they can make a new Krypton. If you've seen, of course, Man of Steel, you're gonna definitely understand that. So the second time Batman died, it was a little more impactful because he was bleeding, and they kept kind of going back in time trying to redo it until Barry figured out that he was telling young Barry, look, this is something that's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter how many times we end up going back. This is going to continue happening. And what happened was young Barry, of course, you can kind of see the foreshadowing throughout. He had the black suit. He got this thing caught in his arm. He ended up being like the Dark Flash or whatever his name was at the end. And it was him who kind of pushed Barry into this world to even start it. You have to watch the movie to see. But number one, General Zod wasn't General Zod. Number two, I did like that they kind of fought within the Speed Force, and young Barry ended up going so crazy because he wanted to save everything. Like, he said he can save everyone. He just kept going back, even though every time they went back, Batman was destined to die and Supergirl was destined to die. So, you seen it coming a mile away. That really wasn't a big reveal that he was the Dark Flash dude. And the scene at the end, of course, everybody's talking about is all the cameos when they had the different worlds. They had Nicolas Cage Batman movie that never happened with Kevin Smith, where he's supposed to play Batman fighting a big spider. They had, of course, Christopher Reeve that showed Supergirl. They showed Adam West Batman. They showed all of these different Batman, and basically they were destroying all the worlds until he ended up accidentally killing himself and reversed everything. And then, of course, Barry did go back in time one more time and made a few adjustments. That way he could free his dad, but he knew his mom had to die because it was ultimately, what needed to happen. So, it's a lot of critics that gave this a bad rating. It's not the worst movie. It's not even the worst movie in the DCEU, y'all. Let's really keep it a buck. I enjoyed the movie. I watched it a couple of times. Was Zod? No, he wasn't the same Zod. I didn't get the same feeling. Was the Young Barry not good? Young Barry was not good. I didn't enjoy it. But overall, it was a good superhero movie. It was refreshing to get something big, and for them to do it like this. But I wish they would have had the original and kept the original, because basically at the end he thought he went back to his normal time, and then Bruce Wayne pulled up in his goddamn George Clooney from Batman and Robin. But I think that was originally supposed to be Michael Keaton's Batman, who's supposed to come to his world so they can carry on and maybe do Batman Beyond. So I'm pissed off they didn't do that. But like I said, overall I give it a B minus. And as always, I'll be back with another review ASAP. Peace.